Craveable Podcast, Episode 10, the greatest food debate of all time.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to the Craveable Podcast, where real matters. We are your hosts, Katie and Ben, and the show is brought to you by Fossil Farms. So, I have to say that I am tickled about what we are about to discuss over the next 2 hours. Just kidding.
Oh, I wish. People would love 2 hours of what's coming up. Let's pretend I'm not looped in. What are we talking about today?
Okay, so I think there's gonna be a lot of opinions coming from you today, probably more than I can physically be able to handle, but
Right.
I will try my best.
We have a spit bucket.
Good. We are discussing food debates, and this will be what we are calling the single greatest food debate of all time. So I have a lot of things written here that the internet believes to be very divisive and hot topics in the world of food debates. So, I have to say, you didn't look at this list, which is going to be just incredible because your vitriolic reactions will be just very natural.
Right. That's the exact right word.
But I did look at this list because I compiled this list. And there are some things on this list that I don't really have an opinion on. But most of them I have an opinion on. So should we just start from the top?
Should we dive right in?
I think we should.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Or a taco?
I'm going, stop it.
Okay.
Okay, fine. We'll skip. No. Okay, we're going to start from the top. Is a Pop-Tart a ravioli?
No.
I 100% agree because
It's a calzone.
oh my God, that's a joke, right?
It depends on how you look
You're
at
just
it.
trolling right now. It's not a calzone.
It's a calzone.
It's closer to a ravioli than a calzone.
It's not.
Well, fine.
It's in rolled out dough, if anything, compared to a ravioli. Well, ravioli is also pasta dough.
So that's what I'm saying is for me, as you know me very well, and probably these listeners are coming to know me, I'm a very by the books person.
Mhm.
So my mind is going to jump to the freaking Webster definition for all these things. And no, a Pop-Tart is not a ravioli because there's no pasta dough. So just because it has crimped edges and is filled with something does not make a delicious breakfast treat a pasta delicacy.
Hence, it's a calzone.
Obviously, we're
What is
probably
it,
not
then?
going to agree on almost most of these.
Yeah, more than likely.
It's a pastry. What do you mean?
I
What
mean,
is
yeah,
it?
it's a pastry, obviously, but, in the great world of things,
Okay.
maybe it could be a calzone.
All right. So we'll.
Don't stifle our children's imaginations.
What? The children of the
Just
nation?
in the broader sense. What's the next line?
Okay. The next one. I know you feel really aggressively about this. Is deep dish a pizza or a casserole?
It's a casserole. Jon Stewart did a whole bit on this. I couldn't agree more. Is it a pizza?
I mean, if we're gonna go by technicality, it probably is a casserole. However, I would have no problem referring to it as a pizza.
I think it might even be more aptly described, and you'll probably agree with this. It's really a quiche.
That is, I do not agree with that.
What?
Quiche has eggs.
Not always.
Yes.
Debatably. I don't actually know the
Yes,
answer to
quiche
that.
always has eggs.
Right, but in the spirit of what a quiche is, it's more like a quiche or a pie than it is a casserole.
I guess I'll give you that.
And
I don't know.
it's
I've never been to
certainly not a
Chicago. Does
pizza.
legit deep dish have there's no top on it, right?
There's no top on it. It has high sides and it's baked in a rimmed pan, like a large, high rimmed pan.
It's a pizza pie. It's a true pizza pie.
No.
It's a pizza pie.
It's
Like a pie.
Yeah, I guess it's
Pizza.
a literal pizza pie.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a gimme. I'll give you that one.
Thank you. Deep dish is a pizza pie, not a pizza nor a casserole.
You heard it here.
End scene. Okay, this is not either or. Should chili have beans?
Oof.
Now I read
Because then a bolognese is a chili if it doesn't have beans. If beans are the
Oh.
determining factor of a chili.
Now you're really getting into this. Well, I didn't make a note of it, but I read, I think it might be in Texas, that you will not see nary one bean in your chili. They do not believe in that at all. I think beans should be in chili. I've always had chili with beans. And what if you want to make a vegetarian chili? Where are you going to get your protein?
Cheese?
That's what you
In
would
a
say.
chili?
Ben the cheesemonger.
That's where my mind went.
So what do you think? Should chili have beans?
I think chili can have beans. I prefer chili without beans unless I'm really
Because of your
stretching my dollar
Because of
at
your
home.
gastrointestinal. Oh no,
Maybe.
money.
Yeah, could be both.
Beans are
What about a
not
black bean
expensive.
chili? It's all beans.
That's yeah. I mean, that's where if you want a meatless chili, like you gotta have your beans in there.
Is lentil soup a bean chili?
No, it's a soup.
Right, I guess it says it in the thing.
It says it in the thing. If I think about it, I think it doesn't have any of the spices that chili has, and that it's a different entity.
So chili's
entirely.
determined by the spices that go in it. I actually think that's fair because it is called chili because of the chili powder and chili peppers that you put into it.
We're just
So
making our
therefore,
own
a
dictionary.
cassoulet, despite having beans, is not a chili.
Since when is cassoulet chili?
It's not. We just determined
You
that.
just-
but,
well, you
but in my head, it
asked
could have
that.
been because it's a...
Oh my God. Okay, so chili can have beans. I think chili should have beans. You think chili can have beans?
I think chili can have beans because I don't want a chili on a hot dog with beans in it. I want a beanless
guess.
chili on my hot dog when I do chili dogs once
Yeah,
every
but
3 years.
Imagine you're eating a bowl of chili that's just seasoned ground meat.
Yeah,
Maybe the cook has been generous enough to throw some diced vegetables in there.
it'd be weird.
It's boring.
Yeah, I like the texture difference of some beans if I'm eating
Yeah.
a bowl of chili like that, which is also very infrequent. Or I'd
Yeah.
have something to dip in on the side. I mean, a chili, is it a soup? Is it a dip?
What? It's not a dip.
Well, is it a soup?
I
If you're
would
eating it with a
say-
spoon.
I would say it's like a soup or maybe like almost like a stew. But just to be clear, like my ideal chili experience involves all the things that could be in it. Lots of cheese, way too much sour cream, and 100% cornbread on the side. I want it all. I want it all.
If you left the cornbread out, you'd basically be eating like a deconstructed burrito.
I have a lot to say about that, but we're not going to
This
go
is the
there.
place to say it.
Okay, so in my chili,
Yeah,
there's no lettuce, there's no rice.
fair. You can do
There's-
burritos without this.
That's all I have.
This is why I love this topic, like in general for this episode, because I love arguing about pedantic
You love controversy.
crap like this.
You love
where
like
it's-
fake
yeah.
controversy.
Oh yeah, confrontation. It's my cup of tea.
Why did I pick this? Okay, next section. Does ketchup belong on a hot dog?
Yes, but
I agree.
I grew up in a German household. They put ketchup on a lot of things. I know that is like
that's true.
sacrilegious to say in a lot of places, especially in New
Currywurst.
Jersey. Yeah, I'm bisschen Currywurst.
Yeah,
Currywurst is it's I mean, Currywurst is amazing. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that for a hot second.
It's
Just
just-
mixing curry powder with
With
ketchup,
ketchup.
and then eating a hot dog
Put
with
it on a
that.
hot dog.
Unbelievable.
I've never been a big mustard person. And if I do consume any mustard nowadays, it's like sparingly and with other flavors that I will accept the mustard with. And a particular kind of, like I am never eating yellow ballpark gross. Like I prefer whole grain and preferably with Brussels sprouts and bacon. I feel like I've said that before on this podcast, which would be embarrassing. But no, I am, my hot dogs just have ketchup on them. But I think, I forget where it is. It might be Chicago. That's deep dish too. It's somewhere that's not New Jersey.
Deep dish hot dog.
No, there's somewhere where it's like frowned upon, and they'll have it at like the baseball stadium if you want it. But it's like you will get looks of disapproval for putting ketchup on your hot dog.
No, some places won't serve it to you. Is it there? I mean, that's
Is
the
that
case
true?
for both hot dogs and burgers. There's a place in, I want to say it's Connecticut. They do like an original burger that's like just the ground meat, cheese, and if you want mustard on toast, and it's in like one of these like old like standing up and the burger goes in sideways
hate
like double
that.
broiler things. Yeah, it's like a whatever.
I hate
I'm
that.
not about that.
No.
And they literally will not give you ketchup. There's like no ketchup signs in there. What's the place that does the deep fried hot dogs in New Jersey? The
I-
Ripper, like the Ripper
don't
hot dog
know.
that Tony Bourdain loves. Rutt's Hut. They do the deep fried hot dog and they will not give you ketchup. I think they might have it now. I don't know. I haven't had a deep fried hot dog in a while,
Interesting.
but they're like mustard only. And Anthony Bourdain will be like, no, it's mustard only. Well, whatever.
Yeah, I don't
Hot dog
support that. Well,
with
hey, this
ketchup all day.
this might be the only one we agree on today. It certainly will be the next one, which is, are burgers and hot dogs sandwiches?
No. It's funny that I open with that.
What you have to say about a hot dog is frankly the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard anyone say in my life.
Well, I think we should touch on something that's been on the internet for a while, which is the cube rule, which I don't agree with. And I was talking with our producer TJ about it. It's essentially like depending on the placement of the starch determines what kind of food it is. Because the starch is around 3 edges, then it's a taco. So a hot dog is a taco. A burger is a sandwich. A burger is definitely a sandwich.
Tacos employ tortillas.
No, it's the starch. That's the determining factor.
Merriam-Webster defines sandwiches as 2 or more slices of bread or a split roll having a filling in between.
Is it just a straight up hot dog a filling?
Yes, it is a filling.
Then it's a sandwich.
Oh, that was easy to convince you of. It's definitely not a taco.
It's fact-based. I trust the dictionary.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
I don't know this Merriam-Webster personally, but they get a lot of things right.
I had to put that down because I knew that you know, I love definitions and like doing things by the books. I knew you had this ludicrous idea that a hot dog was a taco, so I had to really just
it could be a taco.
You've
never had a hot dog in a tortilla? You've never had a microwaved hot dog in a tortilla at home in college? Me neither. Ew. Totally not.
Oh, that was a serious inquiry?
That's definitely something I've done. Next line.
Okay. This one I have almost zero feelings on. I think it's so stupid.
Oh, I'm sure I do, though.
Yeah, you definitely probably do. Is it a sub, a hoagie, or a hero?
Wow.
Stupid one, right?
I didn't think I'd have to think about that so much. I never say hero.
No, me neither.
Hoagie, infrequently, but I think I would say I want a sub.
Me too. But that's got to be
I wouldn't say submarine sandwich, though.
No, no one says that. What is this, 1950s? Right. I think that's probably that's got to be a regional thing, though. No, right?
I think it is a regional thing. I'm pretty sure heroes are...
We should start being able to ask for our producers' opinions during the podcast.
That's okay.
I don't know if our producer would allow that.
What does Joe Rogan say? He's like, oh, Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I want to be able to do. But anyway... We'll talk about that in post.
We're going to get Stacy and TJ's opinions on a short for YouTube or for a TikTok, whatever the kids are watching these days.
Yeah, it's TikTok. So
they're shaking their heads vigorously at me.
TJ says thumbs up.
Thumbs up is good. Thumbs up is good.
All right, so yeah, I think it's a sub. I also think it's a stupid question, and no one should care about what it's called. Just eat and enjoy it. That's a sandwich also.
Anyway, on to the next thing we're going to argue about that also doesn't matter.
Okay, which chicken wing part is better?
The flat.
Oh, you psycho!
100% the flat.
TJ, you do?
The drum. Oh. The drum is the amateur's pick. It's
the amateur's pick.
Yeah, because here's
for people who like.
Do you want to go first? Do you want to go first?
No, go ahead, please.
No, it's okay. Tell them why you're wrong, and I'll tell them why I'm right.
No, I want to hear.
The flat is infinitely better. It definitely has more meat on it. Has more skin ratio per bite. And what you can do is because of the way the wing's designed, and if you don't know this, you need to look it up. What you take the edge. Or one end of it. Usually it's like the thinner end or like maybe the bulbous end. I forget. I know it by touch. And you take it and you press your fingers and push all the meat and skin off of that side. So none of it's attached to the bone except for at one end. So it's like a lollipop. You dip that whole thing into your blue cheese or ranch. This is America. I'm getting head nods. So it's definitely a blue cheese. We're a blue cheese household.
I like ranch.
And then you can put the whole thing in your mouth and suck it off the bones. It is like the most gluttonous, amazing experience for eating a chicken wing. It's unbelievable. Flats are far superior. Drums are for the birds. Let's listen to the bird.
Okay, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that, first of all. Secondly, yeah, I've heard about this fantastical eating activity before.
Keep a hand clean.
I know about that. I definitely like the drum. Always will pick that. I love all wings, though. And I did put an excerpt on this. So drum proponents, me, like the easier eating that comes with the shape, while flat proponents, Ben and TJ, like the sauce to skin to chicken ratio.
Yeah.
So
I'm a ratio guy.
The answer is to each his own.
No, there's a third question that wasn't asked.
Okay.
And my true favorite wing is the uncut wing, the whole wing, the tip, flat, drum, all together. You're not eating
the tip. Why do you need the tip?
If you're not eating the tip, you're doing it wrong because that is all cartilage and that'll get super crispy. It's got a ton of skin on it. You can nibble on it. Oh, it's amazing.
Ben's
it's so
shared
good.
in this room. I am the odd one out. Stacey, what do you think?
Next time.
Okay, I'm the only one who feels this way. Okay, we're
Dude,
moving.
whole
We're moving on.
wings all day.
We're moving
They're
on. Cut
infinitely
this part out.
superior.
Cut this part
Moriarty's, Philadelphia. Go get your wings. Shout out.
Okay.
Send us some free wings.
Here's one that I'm sure we will all agree on.
Yes.
And I didn't even know there was another way to do this, and I'm honestly horrified that there are people in this country doing this.
Oh, is this what I think
How
it is?
do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Right. Both sides of the bread, or not both sides of bread. Each bread gets, one gets peanut butter, the other side gets jelly, and you mash them together because then they kind of like fill the nooks and crannies of itself. But you're going to tell me something that's going to gross me out.
That's also clearly the proper way to make that sandwich.
Right.
Apparently there are people in this world who are putting peanut butter on one piece of bread and then proceeding to put the jelly on top of the peanut butter and spread. You do that?
Hands down in this room.
I
No
can't-
more opinions from the peanut gallery.
Yeah, I take it back what I wanted. I think that's ludicrous. First of all, you all the jelly, how do you spread it out over the peanut butter? I don't understand. And then I just actually don't support any of it. And I'm frankly dumbfounded that we both personally know someone that builds
I
their sandwiches
agree.
that way.
I think that's crazy because you're smearing something that like won't adhere to the peanut
That's
butter.
what I'm saying.
You need it to stick to the bread. They're both semi-viscous liquids, basically,
it's
and you
chemistry,
mash them
really.
together.
It comes down to chemistry. And, there's
Yeah.
just some things that make sense and some things that just don't. And we'll all agree or disagree.
It's an absurd topic. Anyway, next.
I love this one.
Oh, wait. Before we continue,
Yeah.
what kind of jelly?
Oh, that's not. First of all, I don't know that that's part of the debate, and I think that's a matter of personal preference. I don't want anything to do at any point in my life with grape jelly.
What?
Nothing to do.
I
with
do a mixed berry or a grape jelly for PBJs all
Mixed
day.
berry is good. Raspberry is great.
It's fine. Strawberry's weird.
Strawberry,
If you're
I
doing
would take strawberry
strawberry
over grape.
PB,
I would take
it's
strawberry
all
over
you
grape.
have at home, and I'm assuming that. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, well, let's agree to disagree.
Orange marmalade and peanut butter, by the way, never do that. Did that
Ew.
once as a child, right?
Ew.
I didn't finish it because orange marmalade, in case you don't know, and this is why people don't eat it, it's full of rind. It's actually really bitter. It's not super sweet.
It's
I didn't
marmalade,
know that
not
as
jelly.
a kid. Yeah, exactly. So my mom made me sit at the table for like 2.5 hours trying to put away this orange marmalade and peanut butter sandwich. It was not great. I'm obviously traumatized. Hi,
It's
Mom.
disgusting. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this next one I'm really excited about. How crispy should bacon be?
Depends on what you're using it for, but almost always super crispy.
That's exactly how I feel, but we're going to rewind. In what application do you want floppy bacon? That you can't take a bite of and that pulls out of your sandwich and stretches and flaps around in the wind.
Well, I guess if I'm like using bacon in a dish, I usually won't get it to like glass shattering crispiness. I want it to have some body.
Yeah, so
But-
then you just cut it into thicker lardons and you crisp them up and then you got body.
But I'd be lying if I didn't say that sometimes I like a bacon piece that's like a little bit undercooked, a little chewy, kind of like stringy, dare I
Gross.
say.
Literally makes
By
me
your
sick.
reaction, I can tell that that's gross.
No,
But-
I like just shy of burned, as crispy as you can possibly get it. And I know a couple people that literally like their bacon floppy, and I just don't. I don't know what happened to them to
Yeah.
make them that way.
You're speaking to Tyrion Lannister's heart from Game of Thrones, because I remember him walking in on a scene. He's like, 3 rashers of bacon, burnt black. I'm
That's
like,
disgusting.
yeah, that's
I
who
don't
I think
But
of you. I
it
think
is-
of you as a small, rich midget from Game of Thrones.
Thank you. It's tricky though because there's a very fine line, and if you burn it, then you have that burnt taste, and that's not good. So you just got to be a professional and know how to cook your bacon, and then you have nothing to worry about. This is good. This is good. In what order do you remove eggs from the carton? Who knew this was a debate? Who knew?
Well, I used to just kind of like work my way through the packet, right? Like the dozen eggs in
Like straight back,
In the-
or like what?
work my way straight back. But then if you go to take it out and all the front eggs
Lopsided.
are taken, it's lopsided. So now what I do is I do take it out, or I purposely go like corner, and then work my way in like methodically, like I have problems.
Insane. Yeah, so I just, in doing this research, found out that people actually discuss this. I didn't know it was a thing. It depends what I'm using it for. But like some recipes will call for like a large egg or jumbo egg, whatever. So I'll open it and I'll just pick whatever is the largest. And then as I get down to it, I will either like condense the eggs into one area. And then if it's a dozen and it's cardboard or even plastic, I guess I'll cut off that half of the carton so that it's now a balanced small unit and takes up half as much room in my fridge.
That's smart.
And then, but if I'm eating them
I can't be bothered.
and I look in at what's there, I'm like too OCD not to be like, this is the odd one out. Let me take that. But yeah, I'm shocked that there's apparently many ways. I think yours is the corner thing is strange.
Corner adjacent corner, and then from there any which way as long as you're working from the outside in. Imagine working from the middle out.
That's
what
chaotic.
A psychopath!
If you do that, we want to hear from you.
Or if you ever, I'm going to go to everybody's house from now on. I'm going to open the dozen eggs that they have, and if I ever open somebody's dozen eggs and I look down and there's like an odd pattern of where these eggs are being pulled from, I'm going to run out. Like if there's like egg, no egg, egg, no egg, egg, no egg in each row,
okay, well, that's
something's
a pattern,
and that's terrifying. Because I don't know, did you have a stroke yesterday? Why are you pulling your eggs like that?
Oh my goodness.
Next topic.
Maybe that's that person's pattern. Anyway, eggs, carton. Oh, good. 3 questions all related to one of my favorite foods in the world. Number 1, does pineapple belong on pizza?
My gut reaction is no. I think some people like it. I don't care for a Hawaiian pizza.
I agree.
It's wet. It's ham and pineapple. It's wet.
For me, the opportune word in this question is belong, like meant to be there. And the answer to me is an absolutely resounding no.
Agreed.
I don't feel any type of way about people who have pineapple on their pizza, but you will never see me ordering pineapple on my pizza. But I was thinking about this too. If I had 2 options and one option was that I never get to eat pizza again for the rest of my life, or I only got to eat pizza with pineapple on it, I would definitely choose the pineapple.
Yeah,
I love pizza too much.
Such a hard question to answer. I'll get back to you on that. I might give up pizza.
If I could have pizza adjacent things, like if I wasn't allowed to have pizza, but I could have like calzones and strombolis, then I would say get that pineapple on my
pizza. Is a flatbread a pizza?
Yeah, flatbread's a pizza. Okay,
if
great.
You say so.
We're ambivalent on the pineapple. Does ranch belong on pizza?
Absolutely. And so I always make this joke, and it might be a bit off color, but I'm going to say it anyway. The whitest thing about me is my love of ranch and my love of mayo.
Oh my goodness. I think I forget, I could be wrong here, but I believe that is another East Coast thing. I could be wrong.
I feel like it's a Midwest thing. Like,
really?
I'm from Minnesota. I'm getting Domino's with a cup of ranch on the side.
I didn't even know people did that till I got to college, and all my roommates were like, "Where's the ranch?" And I was like, "This is an interesting thing you're doing."
That was in Delaware.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well be Ohio or Minnesota.
Well, anyway, I don't feel bad if anybody puts ranch on their pizza, but there are apparently some pizza purists that think that is an abhorrent activity.
I bring a little bottle of ranch every time I go to Italy, and when I get my pizza margarita, I pour it all over, and then I get kicked out of the restaurant.
Have you ever
just
been to
kidding.
Italy?
I've drove through it. But most of the time, just like the top corner of It's a Long Story.
All right, this one's good too. This is the 3rd of the pizza series of questions. What is the proper way to eat pizza? I have a conditional answer for this. You go first.
Well, I have to ask what style pizza.
Okay, so I guess we have the same opinion. My answer is that it depends what kind of pizza you're eating.
Right. So for the sake of this conversation.
First of all, you should eat pizza however you want. It's delicious and everyone should enjoy this food. But I think
New York style.
The answer is virtually never with a fork and knife, unless I did used to go to a California Pizza Kitchen when I was younger, and this pizza I got had a bunch of toppings and like a thin crust. Why you laugh? Don't laugh at me. And I think it wasn't like a salad pizza, but I think there was some lettuce on it, and you couldn't eat it without a fork and knife while achieving all the ingredients in your mouth. So I had to eat it with a fork and knife. But in general, no, get those away from pizza.
Have you had deep dish pizza? You know what else you can't eat with by hand is deep dish pizza. You have to eat it with a fork and knife. You know what else you eat with a fork and knife? Casserole.
Oh my God.
So we've come full circle here.
Anyway,
okay.
As I said before, I asked if it had a top. I've never really had deep dish pizza. And I think when I was younger, I used to be all about the foldsies.
Big fold on the New York style. You do the fold, a little bit of droop, that first bite, and then you go with the sideways with that ripping hot sauce pouring out all over you.
I don't do that anymore pretty much ever for a couple reasons. One, my pizza doesn't last as long because I'm eating like a double side of bite instead of like
I feel you on that. Yeah,
one.
yeah.
And then two, even though this makes no sense because the amount of grease on it is not changing, it does peeve me out a little how like all the grease pools in the middle and then like God forbid you open it and you're like, I'm eating this? Ooh. And also you need a really...
I thought I was eating a healthy meal getting pizza.
I thought this was a salad. Where this grease come from?
Insanity. That's insane.
And also I think to do that, for me to be like tempted to do that, it would have to be a very large slice and B, a fairly thin slice.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's like attractive. Like the Jersey Shore slices that are like bigger than my face. Yeah. It's like you kind of have to fold that. How are you going to sit like this?
Well, you eat it with a fork and knife, obviously.
But there's more to this. I have learned there are people, this I knew, there are people that for some unknown reason start at the crust.
Yeah, that's insane.
I don't know what you're holding while you eat the rest of the pizza, first of all.
The tip.
And then there are some truly bonkers people out there.
Don't say they eat it from the side.
They start at the side.
That's insane.
Just like no order in the world.
Insane.
They just want to go completely rampant with their pizza and side eat it. It's terrible.
I won't allow it. I want to circle back real quick to the fork and knife thing.
Okay.
Just in case our guests ever go to Europe and you get pizza there, you will very often get an uncut whole pizza, be it a personal pizza or a larger style pizza. Literally, they will give you it with a fork and knife and you'll have to eat it that way. And you can't cut a slice out of it and eat it because you'll seem crazy. Is that fair? No, they have free healthcare. That's also not fair. But here we are.
Anyway, I think it's acceptable to use a fork and knife if you're in another country, and that's the custom. But we're talking about in this country and our beliefs here.
We're talking about America.
That's so unlike me.
In my country?
Stop. It's even more unlike me. Okay, here's a good one. Again, I have a conditional answer for this as well. Should you eat mac and cheese with a fork or a spoon?
Depends. Depends on how runny it is.
It depends on so many factors.
Usually a fork because that's what I have. Depends on the pasta. A spoon is great for shoveling. A spoon is essentially a small shovel. So I would say my preferred method is probably a spoon. The glutton in me is like, yeah, one in each hand.
You only have one mouth, Ben. Let me just remind you.
That's okay.
Yes, I think it depends on a couple things, but primarily the type of pasta. Like, am I having mac and cheese that somebody has for some reason made with penne or ziti? No, I'm not eating it out of the spoon.
No,
that's a disaster waiting to happen.
That's a weird pasta
Definitely
choice.
Definitely a fork. Am I eating mac and cheese that's like Kraft in the box with the little, elbows, or mac and cheese with like an orecchiette? Then spoon.
I was just going to say, you know what I absolutely despise?
Yeah?
Is orecchiette mac and cheese. It is an insane pasta shape for that.
Well, what about, this is not orecchiette.
You need a tube or spiral noodle.
What about the shells? Like the little shells that the
shells
you
are
give to
okay.
Velveeta?
That's always like a Vermont white cheddar.
They hold
like
the cheese in a little
type
cup
thing. Yeah, but it's just not a great pasta overall. I'm not a big shell guy.
You're very into shapes, I see.
Oh, we should do a pasta shapes debate right now. Favorite shape of pasta?
I like
the Vesuviotti, like the little smoke spiral ones where it kind of looks like a pig's tail.
I don't even know what that
Should we just move on?
Yeah, we should move on. But I have one more thing to say before we move on. Another reason that I sometimes like eating it with a spoon is because there's no cheese left behind, I could scoop. It's like I'm not leaving cheese sauce to be alone and sad at the bottom of the bowl.
Yeah.
Scoop, get on the cheese.
No cheese left behind.
No cheese left behind. Okay, this one's good. What do you call we have a lot more to go.
That's okay.
We'll do
time.
2 parts.
Well, no, we'll do it. This will be a 36-minute episode.
Okay, what do you call the end slice on a loaf of bread?
The heel.
The heel.
How? Hold on. You've stopped me in my tracks. What else could you call it?
The butt.
The butt? Coolly. TJ, you don't have a mic. Stop it.
But I know, I agree that it's heel, and I've also been...
Heel's the technical term.
Well,
I could see it being the butt of the bread. I think that's funny.
Most people agree that it's heel. Okay, moving on. We have so many topics.
Insane. I'm Googling that later.
I like this one. Okay, here's what we're going to do. For the next 3, I'm going to do the ones that I have notes for because they're fun. How do you pronounce caramel You know
I was
how I
thinking about
pronounce
this
it.
because that's one of the few things I read on there. Caramel. I say caramel. Yeah.
Not caramel.
Caramel.
You don't say it like that, do you?
Caramel sauce. Caramel sauce.
Caramel.
Caramel.
Great, me too. So what's interesting is that the western half of this country apparently pronounces it with 2 syllables, completely ignoring the second A and saying
Caramel.
caramel. Caramel. Like you ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you got a bunch of peanut butter in your mouth. It's caramel.
That's an old Reno 911 joke, right? Hair lip. Hair lip. Hair lip.
Okay, I don't
No?
like that show. I don't want to offend anybody. That's perfectly fine. But Southerners and East Coasters, we embrace that second vowel and we spread this candy out to 3 syllables. Caramel.
Yeah,
Which I think
that's
is proper
literally
and
how it's
appropriate.
spelled.
Oh, this is nuts. I actually exclaimed in my office before when I looked at this, and I don't think we didn't talk about it, but this, I just feel so many things about this.
Yeah, you freak out so often, I don't turn around that much to check in.
Yeah,
I'm like, she'll be fine.
I go through a lot of things, okay, on a daily basis. How do you slice bagels? Yes, that just came out of my mouth.
Oh, I'm
You're
like
not-
physically offended by that question.
You're not
There's
even
only
gonna think.
yeah. I mean,
You're not
there's
even
nothing
gonna
to think about it. You only cut it one way, which is through the bait. There's no other.
Okay, so, you know,
Like through the hole at the top, like vertically, like
You
it's
don't-
hard to visualize.
just listen to what I'm about to say.
Slice it in half.
You might just get up and leave. Listen to this. So,
I'm gone.
you know, most of us decent human beings, we slice a bagel in half lengthwise, leaving you 2 circular halves, each with a hole
Correct.
in the middle. And then do what you will with your delicious carbo load. Apparently, in the city of St. Louis, for years,
St. Louis.
St. Louis, for years, people have been slicing their bagels like a normal loaf of bread.
What?
I'm not done. Resulting
Visceral reaction. Did you hear that?
Resulting in biscotti-shaped slices of bagel that truly confound people outside of Missouri. Look at Ben's face now, case in point. Proponents of the bread-sliced bagel claim that it allows for maximum amounts of cream cheese or other toppings per bagel piece.
No, you only do that if you have leftover bagels and you're making bagel chips or something crazy like that because you have too much time on your hands and no better hobbies. That's the only excuse for something like that.
Yeah, that was upsetting to read for me.
How do you have a breakfast sandwich? Well, obviously
You
they don't
don't.
cut it that
Apparently
way.
they only eat bagels with cream
No, like
cheese.
I put a piece of bacon and cheese and egg between every slice of my biscotti bagel.
You know, I mean, clearly they only eat it with cream cheese. None of it makes sense. You know what else doesn't make sense? How do you toast it? You don't toast it.
Then you're
You
making
need a
bagel
toaster
chips.
oven. I don't understand. I don't understand it at all.
You know what I could see? If you're doing like a cream cheese based dip, I could see that being a fun little riff on
A
it.
cream cheese based dip, right? But it's not your regular
Yeah.
morning bagel.
Don't have
It's
dip
just-
for breakfast.
I know what's
Well,
state. I don't. need
Veggie
to
cream
go
cheese
to.
is basically a dip.
Yeah. Let's not get into that. Is cream cheese a dip? No, this next
yeah.
one is fun. So I'm going to ask the question, and then I'm going to read the little explanation, which says why we're asking the question. This is great. It applies to both you and me, and hopefully many of our listeners. Did millennials ruin everything? Now, here's the explanation.
No.
It's. I'm tickled
I
by
hate
it.
the
Again,
generational things.
sales of American cheese are dropping. Casual chain restaurants are struggling. Mayonnaise is no longer a staple of backyard barbecues. And if news reports are to be believed, people born between 1981 and 1996 are destroying all these things. And my question is it that we're destroying these things? Or did we just realize that American cheese is gross to begin with?
Yes.
Yeah.
American cheese is
Yeah.
awesome, first of all. It's
No.
not cheese, it's a cheese
Processed
product.
cheese
And I
product.
think people are moving away from processed foods. That's the easy answer to that one. Mayonnaise is inherently unhealthy.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll make it at home, or maybe the millennials are just getting fancy and they're like, oh, I don't want mayo, I want aioli. And the chef in the back is like, all right, dipping his spoon into a giant restaurant service sized bottle of Hellman's and then just squeezing in lemon and paprika. And he's like, here's your aioli, kids.
Well, yeah, I mean, aioli is flavored mayonnaise. But I actually think it's
really.
I think it's very funny. And, casual chain restaurants, it's like millennials want to spend their money on like bougie things or, cook at home, or we don't want to go to TGI Fridays.
We have our
for
own
dinner.
microwaves at home. I'm not going to ask someone else
There
to
you go.
microwave a spinach dip.
I can go to the store right now and buy TGI fries,
Right.
mozzarella triangles in that freezer.
Fridays hurt themselves that way.
Yeah, I don't need to go there.
I would never eat there. It's against, like, I mean, if you listen to this podcast, you know we're not going there.
No, we're
ever.
Not going. Maybe for drinks. Depends on how good happy hour is.
Unlikely.
So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. What else is worthwhile?
Just go down the list.
Okay. This was apparently a big one here. Where do you put the cheese on a burger?
You have to put it on the meat because it has to melt.
Now, apparently, some years ago, Google came out with an emoji, and in the emoji, in the tiny little image, there was like a slice of cheese on the bottom, and people were like, "That makes no sense. Like, what are you doing? How is that a thing?" And then they like remade the emoji so that the cheese is on top of the meat. The things people do.
Everything else can be changed on the burger, right? You can talk about like, you need something on the base to soak up the beef juices or whatever burger you're having, any of the juices, so it doesn't soak into the bun, but the cheese goes on top. And if you're doing a double and you only want a single slice of cheese, it's meat, cheese, meat. Not meat, cheese. Not cheese, meat. It's meat, cheese, meat.
Cheese, meat.
That's going to be my dating app for people who love burgers and cheese and meat. Is meat, cheese, meat.
Ben Single, find him here. Get him a burger. Anyway.
Blowing up my spot.
Sorry, guys. Edit that out. So yes, cheese has to go on top of the burger patty to melt it, obviously. Silly question. Should you salt your watermelon? The last couple of responses I've gotten from you have been exasperated.
Yeah, because it's all these like trendy little things. I mean, food trends are hilarious. No, I don't think it needs it. If you get a really good watermelon, it doesn't need anything. I guess you could argue that a little bit of salt brings out some more sweetness. But it's like people who put salt into their like hot chocolate. They're like, ooh, it makes it more chocolatey. And I'm like, great. Let's not be friends. Don't come over.
I've never salted a watermelon. I guess I've heard of it before, and yeah, I guess maybe that's true that the salt makes the sweetness come out more, but is that just an illusion of your taste buds?
People do like the Tajin seasoned fruits, like often I've seen like mango sticks like with that and stuff on watermelon. I think it's fine. It's
interesting.
But it's not like, I'm a fruit purist.
Another good one that is kind of similar, also, gets to an illusion factor here. Do you cut your sandwich diagonally or down the middle?
Ooh, great question. Depends.
I have a belief on this. Okay, what does it depend on?
My mood.
Not what kind of sandwich or bread
or
anything?
Depending. I mean, if I'm making a sub at home, see, we've circled back. I do say sub. Then I cut it in half. You could cut it diagonal. That's getting cut in half. Sometimes if it's on like a toast-shaped bread, I'll do the diagonal. Or if I'm doing like a panini or something like that, then I'll do the diagonal because you get that better initial like pointed bite instead of biting in the middle and everything squeezing out. So it really can vary depending on what I'm putting on it.
So apparently people who spend their time debating this, as you and I are, believe, and this is what they believe word for word, that cutting the sandwich on a diagonal creates the illusion that the sandwich is larger and allows for more even distribution of ingredients.
I've heard of this, and I don't disagree. However, if I'm making a sandwich at home, I usually don't cut it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. But my thought is at base level, just taking away different types of sandwiches, cut it down the middle. And I don't really have a real reason for this other than I don't really like the pointy ends of a diagonal sandwich the same way I don't really like French fries with pointy ends, unless I'm very hungry and I'm towards the end.
Pause.
I like the French fries with the flat ends and not the crispy end with no potato.
The French fry crispy edge pointed part is great. I mean, that's almost like a better little scooping. Whatever. Let's just pass over that because my mind is reeling at that comment.
Anyway. This one we have to discuss. Do you put ketchup on fries or on the side for dipping?
On the side for dipping. Of course. It's pretty popular when you get like frites, like say if you're in Belgium, they'll do like the squirt of ketchup and the fruit of mayo on top. Yeah, and you get that like little two-pronged little wooden fork.
Yeah, and then your fries are soggy 4 minutes later.
No, they're not soggy because it's not as wet. This is what I was joking about before, is that ketchup's a non-Newtonian fluid. I mean, it's really not going to like soak into the French fries. Non-Newtonian.
And can you
define that because it has cornstarch in it, like the more you move it, the more viscous it gets. The same way like if you have cornstarch water and you hit it, you can't go through it, but if you like slowly press into it, it's liquidy.
Interesting. Well, I do not think that French fries should have ketchup all on them. In fact, if I'm in a scenario where I have to get all of my ketchup in one sitting and they don't have cups, I will try to push my French fries to one general side of whatever the receptacle is, and then get the ketchup in the corner as far away from touching my French fries as possible. And then the French fries that do get touched by the ketchup get eaten first.
Yeah, that's actually, I don't disagree.
Because
That's probably how I did
it. It's a soggy French fry. That's horrible.
No.
But I've been told there's people that do that.
I purposely won't get French fries as a side to go because I hate soggy French fries. Like French fries are like a dine-in. I'm going to treat myself to some French fries.
Yes, 100%. All right, so you got a couple more in you, or do we got a couple more? I have so many more. Okay, guys, thank you for sticking in here.
That's an exit.
It wasn't quite the hour and a half I promised it would be, but thank you for tuning in for the longest episode on record. We have a lot of ideas. Thank you for watching the Craveable podcast. Please like and subscribe, and catch us again soon.
Bye.
3, 2,